Okay. Şimdi burada da bunları dolduracağız. Sustainable job growth is a motto for many governments, especially in the aftermath of a recession. The problem of job quality is less often addressed and may be seen as burada olumsuz bir şeyden bahsediyor. The problem of job quality is left often addressed and may be seen as, yani engelleyen, hindering, iş gelişmesini engelleyen diye düşünüyorum ben. The sentiment any job is better than no job may resonate with governments as well as people, especially in the context of high unemployment. However, if the balance between improving the quality of existing jobs and creating new jobs become greatly imbalanced towards the latter, this would increase work stress among current, yani şimdiki and gelecekteki işçiler için, which in turn has held economic and social costs. A recent British Academy Policy Center report on stress at work highlights these concerns and describes the context, determinants and consequences of work-related stress in Britain. Bence gayet güzel oldu. Bu muhtemelen reading, aynı zamanda muhtemelen bir de writing olarak geçiyor bence. Yani writing'e de etkisi vardır bunun. Legal deposit for printed books and papers has existed in English law since 1660. It helps to ensure that the nation's published output and thereby its civilian record or intellectual. Muhtemelen civilian, yani published output nations, is collected systematically and as comprehensively as possible, both in order to preserve the material for the use of future generations. Ya böyle şeylerde genellikle hani bir önceki kelimeleri, bir sonraki kelimeleri okumak mantıklı, çünkü oradan kelimenin anlamını çıkartabilirsiniz. Tabii ki kelime dağarcığınızın da iyi olması lazım. But in order to preserve the material for the use of future generations and to make it available for readers probably, or lawyers, like readers, library readers, yeah. These are the legal deposit libraries, maybe lawyers. These are the British Library of the Nation. The legal deposit system also has muhtemelen benefits. Publications deposited with the British Library are made available to users in its various reading rooms, are preserved muhtemelen for the benefit of the future. Yani saklandı demek istiyor. Publications are recorded in the online catalog and will remain an essential research tool olacak. Yani management tool olmaz, building tool olmaz, reading tool, yani çok şey böyle. Will remain a research reading tool for generations to come. Ya reading ya research, ama research diyeceğim. New technologies are helping cities replace failing water infrastructure. Piping systems allow polymer-based materials to be inserted into all pipes to repair faults and reduce oh yeah, no. New technologies are helping cities repair. Protect leaks olmaz, produce olacak bence ya. When it comes to managing wastewater, the new systems are emerging such as advanced immobilize, yani ya şey ortaya çıkıyor demek oluyor emerging dediği. Reduce de azaltmak. Hani hem hataları tamir etmek hem de kaçakları azaltmak. Protect olmaz yani, saçma olur. And companies have realized that much can be achieved by re-examining their products at the development, yani geliştirme aşamasında incelenmesi daha uygun olur demiş, daha iyi olur. Daha fazla şey yapılır demek istemişler. By designing items that can be more easily picked apart and that use fewer materials in the construction, companies can increase the recyclable disposable, bir kere kullanıp atılan demek aslında. Herkes biliyordur muhtemelen. Repeatable, recyclable content of what they produce, cutting waste and generating cost saving by being able to reuse. Aynen, reuse dediği için recycle oluyor. A Massey University ecologist has teamed up with a leading wildlife photographer to produce definitive book. On New Zealand's natural bird, the kiwi. A kiwi, A Natural History, was written by Isabel Castro and was written dediği için, and de olduğu için was featured yok. Has featured muhtemelen was, çünkü by demiş, was featured. Dr. Castro has been working with kiwi since, has diyor, since olur. For olmaz, for years, yani kelime olur. For 10 years, for 50 years, 100 years, ama spesifik olarak date verecek olursanız o since oluyor. I've specifically been looking at the sense of the smell that kiwi use when foraging, but also in the interaction with the environment and other kiwi also olacak. They really are a very unique bird. They are a collection of odd characteristics, some often okumama gerek yok. The book covers all aspects of kiwi, from their evolution, prehistory, and close relatives to their feeding and breeding behavior and current conservation issues. Making this the perfect introduction for anyone with an interest in these fascinating birds. This is the second title in a new series on New Zealand's wildlife. In a new set, muhtemelen set on series of set on, muhtemelen set series of olması lazım. On olur mu bilmiyorum. İkisinden birisi çok karışıyor. A working day for an astronaut could be spent inside or outside the spacecraft. Inside, routine monitoring and maintenance on the craft is carried out. Bu şey, alongside scientific testing and experimentation. Yani carried out, hani yapıldı demek anlamında, tamir tarzında şeylerin. This can include investigation of the effects of space travel, space journey, space trip, testing of new products. Commercial organizations send experiments into space because they want them to investigate under conditions of research under conditions of weightlessness. Work on a spacecraft is called extravehicular activity. An astronaut will either be tethered to his craft or will wear a manned maneuvering unit, a kind of powered backpack. He might be deploying satellites, setting up experiments, or building space stations. Because they want them to investigate under conditions of, investigate sanki daha böyle anlamlı geliyor. Work on a sevmiyorum ya, reading'i çok zor bunların. Used in a variety of courses in various disciplines, asking the right questions helps students bridge the gap between simply memorizing and blindly accepting information, and the greater challenge of critical analysis and synthesis. Bu yüzden this concise text teaches students to think critically by exploring the components of arguments, issues, conclusions, and obstacles. How to spot fallacies. O ne demek bilmiyorum. Manipulations and obstacles for critical thinking. It teaches them how responding to alternative points of view and develop teaches them to respond. It teaches them the response to alternative points of view and develop a solid foundation. It teaches them to respond to when responding to dakikamız var. Normal şeyde böyle saat vermiyor size, haberiniz olsun. Burada sadece sınav, deneme sınavı diye. Normal sınavda sadece bu gösteriliyor, bu yok. It teaches them to respond to alternative points of view and develop a solid foundation. Böyle olması lazım. Çünkü burada verb var, burada da and'den sonra burada da verb var. Demek ki bunun to'su değil yani. Aynen bu olması lazım. Read the text and answer the question by selecting all the correct responses. You will need to select more than one. Birden fazla seçeceğiz. Research studies cannot provide measurable data. Bakalım burada. Because there's 30 there are limits on reason on data collection instruments and the value theory is a primitive in comparison to the instrument. Answer complex questions about values. Bunda bir şey yok yani, istediğinizi yapabilirsiniz hani, ama birden fazla cevapladığınızda diğer soru yanlışsa cevabınız, doğru cevabınızı da götürüyor. Yani yanlış doğruyu götürüyor bunda. Although some research approaches lead to deeper understanding of the research context than others, no approach provides full comprehension. Full richness of the individuals. Bunu yapamıyormuş. There are limits to our research technologies, are that the collection instruments and the available theories are primitive compared. Our measuring instruments always have some degree of error. The variables we study are often proxies for the real behavior we seek to examine. For example, we use a multiple choice test to assess a person's values. Zannedersem bu da var. Include voluntary human participants. Bakalım approaches. There will always be other variables and aspects of a context that were not examined. Still, we haven't made the most concerned numbers. Bu yanlış. Answer complex questions about values. Cannot answer complex questions. Provide measurable data. Cannot. Cannot answer complex. Burada da sıralama yapıyorsunuz. Bu çok önemli değil diye düşünüyorum. Biliyorum, öyle hatırlıyorum ama bilmiyorum, bakalım. To be a good listener, you must learn to focus and concentrate on the main points of the lecture. Once you have done this, you have set the stage for successful reviewing and revising. To be a good listener, you must learn to focus and concentrate on the main points of the lecture. Once you have done this, you have set the stage for successful reviewing and revising. Your main job in taking lecture notes is to be a good listener. Genellikle şey diyorlar. Sevmiyorum bunu ya. Üf, yapamıyorum çünkü. Böyle yapacağım. This side dediği için bu yani cümlenin alt taraflarında. Bu da alt taraflarında. There is however no. The site lists not only his published books and articles but also manuscripts. His diyor. Demek ki bundan önce açıklamış birilerini. Organized by date. This site is a Bununla şöyle bak, şuna bakıyorlar. Söylemeyi unuttum. Bunda mesela bununla bu uyumlu mu? Bununla bu uyumlu mu? Bununla bu uyumlu mu? Yani burası 1, burası 2, burası 3 puan veriyor. Eğer bununla bu uyumluysa 1 puan, bununla bu uyumluysa 2 puan veriyor. Bununla bu uyumlu değilse buna puan vermiyor. Buradan yani 2 puan alıyorsunuz veya 1 puan alıyorsunuz. Artık hangileri doğruysa. The material has been catalogued, cross-referenced and organized by date. This site contains a comprehensive listing of the works numbered. Today, 46 million people live in areas at risk of flooding. Scientists estimate that the sea rise of only 50 centimeters would increase the number of people at risk to 92 million. Böyle. Okay. Individual humans are relatively powerless creatures. It is what we can do as a group that has enabled us to take over the planet. Yani bize yardımcı olduğu tarzında bir şey söylemek istiyor. These groupings, corporations, religions, states are now part of a vast network of interconnected information flows, finding points of resistance where smaller units can stand up to the waves of information washing around the globe is becoming harder all the time. Bunlar aslında yani okumanız gerek. Hani bunları nasıl bilirsiniz? Şöyle söyleyeyim. Hani okumanız gerekiyor. Yani hani şey yapmanız lazım. Nasıl söyleyeyim? Gazete, haber böyle şeyleri okuyarak bunları yapabilirsiniz. Stand up to yani bir şeye karşılık vermek. İşte interconnected information birbirine bağımlı. Enabled us bize yardımcı oldu tarzında. Since the last papal reform, several proposals have been proposed to make the Western calendar more useful or portable. Very few reforms have gained official acceptance. Proposals, portables, acceptance. Several proposals yani birkaç tane şey teklif edilmiş. Useful veya portable demek istiyor. Useful burada adjective yani Türkçe'de sıfat oluyor galiba. Bir şeyi tanımlıyor. Bir ismi. Kullanışlı veya işte portable dediği taşınabilir muhtemelen. Useful veya regular mı aslında olacak? Very few reforms have gained official yani resmi kabul aldı tarzında söylemek istiyor. Sharks killed 4 people and injured 58 others around the world in 2006, a comparatively dull year for dangerous encounters between the two species. Shark bite numbers yükseldi, büyüdü demek istiyoruz. Grew steadily olacak. Çünkü burada verb olması lazım. Steadily over the last century as the human population increased and spend more time dışarı deniz kenarında çok fazla geçirmiş zaman insanlar. But the numbers have stabilized over the past 5 years as overfishing has and niche and swimmers have learned about the risk of wading in certain zones. As overfishing has thinned yani azalttı demek istiyor thinned. Yani learned yani yüzücüler de öğrendi riskleri. Michael T. Madigan has published over 110 research papers, has co-edited a major journal on phototrophic bacteria and has served as chief editor of the bilmiyorum. His non-scientific interests include tree planting yani ilgi alanı. He lives beside a quiet like about 5 miles from the university campus with his wife Nancy, 4 shelter dogs and 3 horses. Has co-edited a major journal archives of microbiology. A major yok saçma within exposed tree within olmaz expose verb buraya verb olmaz three ties bu major undertakings a major bunu yazalım yapacak bir şey yok. Muhtemelen bu son soru. Bundan sonra 2 tane soru daha gelecek. O 2 soruda da bana 2 tane cümle söyleyecekler. Ya 2 ya 3. 2 ya da 3. O cümleyi ben tekrarlayacağım. Daha önce yapmıştım herhalde. Hatırlamıyorum. No two siblings are the same. Not even identical twins. Parents often puzzle about like karar veremiyor neden olduklarını about why their children are so different from one to another. They will say I raised them up all the same. They forgot that what determines our behavior isn't what happens to us but how we interpret what happens to us. Ha, biz onu geçtik mi ya? Bana söyle cümleleri söyleme. Read the text and answer the multiple choice question by selecting the correct response. Only one response is correct. Yani sadece bir tane cümle seçeceğiz buradan. According to the writer, a student might repeat himself to write a conclusion in the essay, remind the teacher of what he has written, increase the length of the essay, emphasize the main argument of the essay. Still, many students and the college relying on writing studies. You will want to write clearly to have an interesting and arguable thesis, to construct paragraphs that are coherent and focused, and so on. Still. Increase the length of the essay, çünkü such as using elevator language or repeating yourself so that you might meet the 10 page requirement, which I mean hani makalede yazılan şeyleri arttırmak için işte kendine tekrarlıyor. Aynı cümleleri kuruyor. Aynı anlamda cümleler ya da. Only one response is correct. The purpose of the text is to point out societal dependence on both sides. Right? Analyze modern day artistic styles. The work of scientists and artists alike is the presentation of form, pattern, and structure in material or in mental images. For the work of either to fulfill its end, it must be communicable. The hearer, the reader, or beholder of the work of art must in the end find coherence and feeling from the images arise in his own mind, and the verifier of the scientific theory must be able to reproduce in his own mathematics and experiments the measurable facts communicated. What the heck? Neyse, daha 3 dakikamız var. Okay. Yani her şey aslında hem bilim adamıyla sanatçının özellikleri aslında form, pattern, structure içeriyor. Bunlar aynı olmalı. Herkes için hani en azından anlatım dili aynı olmalı ki insanlar okuyan herkes anlasın diye. Must in the end find coherence and feeling from the images around it, and the verified scientific theory must be able to reproduce. Describe a general parallel between